Hi students, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to deal with chapter 1 computer system part 1. Okay, so let's move on. So the first topic is introduction to computer system. So first of all we have to see what a computer is. As the formal definition says, a computer is an electronic device that can be programmed to accept data or input, process it and generate result or output. Okay. So as we already know, it's an electronic device. For example, I am taking an example of 5 and 3 addition. I am going to add 5 and 3. So what will be the result? It will be 8. Okay. So here the input will be 5 and 3. And what's the operation that is happening? It will be addition, or it's an arithmetic operation. And finally, what will be the result or output? It will be 8. So these terms are very important as far as the computer system is concerned. Input, output. Okay. Now, what's a computer system? A computer along with additional hardware and software together is called a computer system. A computer along with additional hardware and software. So here you can see the image of a computer. Here you can see hardware, additional hardware, like you have a CPU here, keyboard, mouse, etc. So, and there will be software which will be installed inside our computer. Okay. So with additional hardware and software together, it's called a computer system. Next, we shall see what are the components of a computer system. There are 4 components, that is central processing unit or CPU, memory, input-output devices and storage devices. And here we can see the figure of a block diagram of a computer system. So I have already told there are 4 components. Here you can see there's a CPU, memory, input and output devices, and finally the external storage or storage devices. Here you can see dotted rectangle, right? It's the CPU, and inside the CPU you have 2 components, that is control unit and arithmetic logic unit. We'll see one by one in the coming slides. Okay. Now first one is the central processing unit or CPU. The formal definition is it's an electronic circuitry of a computer that carries out the actual processing. So in the previous example we were adding 2 numbers 5 and 3. So what was the processing or what was the operation that was happening there? It's an addition. It's an arithmetic operation. It can be logic operations, it can be other arithmetic operations like subtraction, multiplication, division. You can do any operation. So who does this operation? It's a CPU. Is it the memory? No. Is it the output or input devices? No. Okay. So which component does this operation? CPU. The actual processing is done by the CPU, and hence it's called the brain of the computer, because it does the actual processing. And it's also commonly called the processor or microprocessor. The other names of CPU is processor, microprocessor. And next we shall see working of CPU. How does the CPU work? First of all we have to see what a program is. We have already heard of some programs like Python, C++, Java program, etc. For what actually what's the actual meaning of this program? A program is a set of statements to perform a particular task. So through programs we are giving instructions and data to the CPU. Through programs we are giving some instructions. Through instructions only the task can be performed, and there should be some data also. So if you are taking the previous example, the data will be 5 and 3. And what will be the instruction? It will be the CPU will be asked to perform the addition. So through programs, we are giving instructions and data to the CPU. What does the CPU does? The CPU fetches the program and data from the memory. So from the memory, the CPU will take the data, and what does the CPU do? As I've already told, it does the actual processing. So it is asked to perform the addition. So it performs the arithmetic operation, and if it is a logic operation, the CPU does the logic operation as per the given instructions. And so here the CPU has taken the instruction and data from memory, and it has now added the two numbers 5 and 3. So after that, what happens? Now we have to store the result in some medium, right? So we are storing the result back to memory. The CPU is taking data and instruction from memory, it does the operation and it stores back the result to memory. And while processing, the CPU stores the data as well as instructions in its local memory. The CPU is having an inbuilt memory or a local memory called register. Apart from we can see the previous slide, apart from the external memory, the CPU is having an inbuilt memory or internal memory, or we can call it as local memory. It's called register. So the CPU will store the same data and instructions in its local memory called register. Okay. Now let's move on to the components of CPU. In the previous image we have already seen there are different components of CPU like arithmetic logic unit, control unit and memory or registers. Okay. So here this is the image of the CPU. Here you are having ALU, arithmetic logic unit, control unit and memory unit or register. So arithmetic logic unit, it performs all the arithmetic and logic operations that need to be done as per the instruction in a program. So inside the CPU we have ALU. So the addition that was we took the example of 5 and 3, right? So the addition of 5 and 3 was done by the ALU. It's not done by the CU, it's not done by the MU, but it's done by the ALU. The actual operation is done by the ALU, arithmetic logic unit. Then next is control unit. It controls the sequential instruction execution, interprets instructions and guides data flow through the computer's memory, ALU and input or output devices. So what's the function of CU or control unit? It controls the flow of data. So the direction of data, like where has the data should go. I have already told that the CPU will fetch the data from memory. So here you can see the arrow. From memory it's taking the data. So where should the data go? The data should go to ALU. So from memory you can see the arrow here. From the memory we are taking 5 and 3 and then it goes to the ALU. So in ALU 5 plus 3 is done and the result 8 is again goes back to CU and then to memory. So the data flow is controlled by the control unit. And finally we have the registers where we are keeping the instructions and data. It's a local memory of the CPU. Hope it is clear. Next we will go to the next slide, that is input devices. The second component was input devices. There were 4 components. Just revise those components from the previous slides. Okay, here we have 4 components. We have already completed the CPU. Next we are going to the input devices. Okay, so what are the input devices? Some examples of input devices are keyboard, mouse, scanner, touch screen, etc. Okay, so what are these input devices? The input devices are the devices through which control signals are sent to a computer. Okay, so this is a formal definition. So here you can see some examples of input devices. As we already know, there are some input devices like we have mouse, keyboard, webcam, trackball, joystick, etc. So what's the function of the input device? So we are giving the data to the or through the input device. Through the input device, the control signals or the data is gone, or it's the input devices takes the data or control signals which are sent to the computer for processing. Okay, so what's the function of input devices? They convert the input data into a digital form that is acceptable by the computer system. So as we already know, the computer system doesn't know the human language. It just knows what language? The binary system, that is 0 and 1, or the digital form. So for example, we are giving some input data through Google search, voice search, you know that, right? Google voice search. So through Google voice search, we are giving some data, like I am asking Google for the biggest river. Okay, so the biggest river in the world, and that is in human language. I am asking which is the biggest river or largest river in the world. So this can't be understood by the computer system because it's in the human language. So what does the input device do? The input device will convert the input data, which is in the human language form, into digital form. So unless it is done, the computer system cannot understand. Okay, so this is a function of the input device. Hope it is clear. And next we can see that there are two ways in which the input device can store the input data. So data entered through input device can be stored in two ways, that is main memory RAM of the computer system or secondary storage. So data entered through the input device, that is the human language, can be stored in two ways. It can be temporarily stored or permanently stored. It can be temporarily stored in main memory of the computer system. Okay, it's the RAM. And another way is permanent storage, like storing it in some secondary storage like external hard disk, etc. Next we have already seen, these are some examples of input devices like camera, touch screen. To touch screen we can give input to the computer, and from and the example is like keyboard. We are pressing some keys which will be the input data to the computer, or we can see here it is a microphone, etc. Okay, next we shall see the output devices. So this will be the opposite of input devices. The examples will be monitor, projector, headphone, speaker, printer, etc. So what's the formal definition? Output devices are devices that receives data from a computer system for display or physical production. So what we have done through the input devices, we have entered some data to the computer, and the computer should receive the data. Okay, so the device that receives data from a computer system for display, we have to get the result in the human readable form. We have entered the input data through human understandable form, and we have to get back the result in the same form. Okay, so what happens, or what is the function of the output device? They convert the digital information into human understandable form. Through input device we have given the data in human understandable form. So the input device has converted into the digital form that can be understood by the computer. And what does the output device do? The output device will convert this digital information into human understandable form that can be received by the humans. Okay, so the most common example of output device to get the output in hard copy form is printer. As we already know, we have used printers, right, to get the hard copies. Okay, so this is the most common output device to get output in hard copy form. What are the different types of printers? There are different types of printers like inkjet, laserjet, dot matrix, 3D printer, etc. And nowadays 3D printer is a new type of printer. It's used to build physical replica of a digital 3D design. And these printers are being used in industries, many manufacturing industries, to create prototypes of products. And their usage is also being explored in the medical field, particularly for developing body organs. So this is all about output devices. Now these are some examples of output devices like webcam, printer, monitor. Through monitor we can get the result. Okay, then speakers. From speakers we get sound as output. Okay, then it's a printer, get the hard copy. So the output can be in different forms. In monitor case it will be a display. Okay, then using speakers it will be sound. Then using printers it will be hard copy. Okay, so there will be different forms of output, but it will be in the human understandable form. So that's all for today. In the next session, we'll see the evolution of computer. That is the next topic. Hope it is clear. Now, if you have some doubts regarding this topic, please comment in the comment box. Please do subscribe my channel, like and share. Thank you.